hearts and broken fences. This show is a serious show. We're talking about suicidality, suicide, the second leading cause of death in young people in our country. Some statistics on suicide. The year before last, over 48,000 people killed themselves in the United States. One death every 11 minutes from suicide. 12.3 million people seriously thought about suicide. 3.5 million made a plan for suicide, and 1.7 million people attempted suicide. This is a serious problem. This is related to depression. It's related to abuse. It's related to, well, relationship difficulties and every form of difficulty that comes from a world of frustration, people in poverty. Much more likely if people have been through anxiety, if they've been through guilt and shock and prolonged grief. People die from suicide, and it's cost over $500 billion. The cost to society and the loss of lives is tremendous. Today we have a very special guest with us. She's been through so much trauma, and it's just a very, very great privilege to see a brave individual that has been through such a series of crises and been actually suicidal all her life. This is Jayleen, everybody. Welcome, Jayleen. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You have been so transparent with me, and I just would like to ask you what would motivate you to join us today? Not many people would be as brave to talk about such sensitive issues as you are about to.
Right. What motivated me was just to get my story out there, to know that you're not alone, and even though you're in a dark space and a dark hole and you feel like you can't climb out of, God is always the answer. And reaching out, that one step of just being like, I need help, that is such a huge step to celebrate. And I just want to get my story out there again, so you won't feel so alone, and you can see this and just be like, wow, okay, I'm her, or I feel exactly how she feels, and know that you're going to be okay. If I'm okay, you're going to be okay.
That's beautiful, that you know that God is the answer, and wow, that you would be brave enough to do this today. Well, how is it that you have gone through life being suicidal? How is it that you can possibly live a life so depressed, and how is it that has happened to you?
Well, growing up, I lived in a really toxic household, from mental abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional, all the abuse you can think of. Domestic violence, seeing my mom neglect and all this other stuff, and I never knew as a little girl what suicide was until I got older and I became a cutter. And then I was like, I don't want to be here, and I don't know why I'm here. And that's when I realized, like, I've been suicidal my whole life. Even as a little girl, I've been suicidal. Like, all the things I've went through and seen, like, from abuse, from physical abuse, and being molested at such a young age, being trafficked at a really, really young age, and sorry.
Oh,
and,
it's quite all right.
Yes, and sexual assault as well. So I just have been in the dark my whole life, where I didn't know what light looked like. I was an empty shell walking on surface around everyone. I would choose what mask. It was like, ideally, you'll put the mask up, right? And then you'll choose what mask you want to get worn. Mine was always happy, always happy, always happy. And that's when I ran to drugs and alcohol growing up. And I thought that was the only way, until God found me and I found him.
Well, tell me about that. That's so wonderful to overcome such abuse and a drug addiction. How is it that God saved you out of being a suicidal person?
Well, growing up, I was always in church, always in church. I used to go with my grandma a lot. I love her. Unfortunately, she's not here anymore, but I used to go with my grandma a lot. And I remember just staring at her when I was a little girl, and I was like, I want to be just like that. You can just see like the Holy Spirit move in her, the smile, the contagious smiles and laughs, you know. So basically, when I saw her, I was like, that's going to be me. That's going to be me, like, you know. So the way God saved me was 2 years ago on August 26th, I actually committed suicide. I actually slit my wrist and I died. I died in the ambulance. I remember clearly I was drinking a lot of alcohol. I remember I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, why do I hate myself so much? Why does my body not feel like mine? What's wrong with me? Like, I don't belong here. I'm not worth it. Like, there's no point. So I remember I was listening to my church music and I was on the floor with the razor and I told God, okay, God, it's time for me to come home. Like, I'm sorry. Please forgive me because I know I'm going to sin. Please forgive me. I love you, but please take me with you. I slit my wrist and I remember just me blacking out and waking up, blood everywhere. And then in the ambulance again, they couldn't stop the bleeding. So I basically bled out and I died. And when I died, I seen nothing but black. And that's how I knew I wasn't going to go to heaven. I knew I wasn't going to go to heaven. So when they brought me back, I remember I woke up and they brought me back and I was tied down. They strapped me down and I was like, no, I was like, I don't want to be here. Why? Like, why, God? Why did you do this? Like, I wanted to go. I don't want to be here. And then after that, I knew I have a purpose here. Like, getting my story out here, like, especially with like being vulnerable about like my past of like all my traumas and all that, I have a purpose to help others and reach to others that don't know what to do and that are lost. You know, it's being in this dark hole. It's like you want to feel safe within your body, but you can't because your body and mind are always at war. So there's never a quiet moment in your life and you're in this dark hole and you're like, I want to get out. I want to get out. Please, someone help me. Someone help me. And you see yourself screaming, but you're composed on the outside. Like, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Wow. I know you do a lot of writing about your experience. I hope that you're going to be able to publish some of. I've read some of her work. It's tremendous. I'm looking forward to seeing you put that together. But I want to ask you, how have you figured it out? How you're not going to go back? Because the one challenge is that you break away, but the other challenge is that you're not going to go back to that dark place of suicide. Have you figured it out, Jayleen?
I'm not going to lie. I have my days. I can't say I 100% figured it out. I don't think anyone in this world will ever figure it out. But I do cope better. I write. I surround myself with people that love and support me. I reach out when I need help. Never have done that before. And I listen to my praise and worship music all the time. And it's like I was telling you earlier, when I would really be going through something really like horrible, it takes me back to like, I don't want to be here. Amazing Grace always comes on. And I'm like, I look and I smile and I'm like, I start crying. I'm like, thank you, Grandma. I know I'm going to be okay.
That was your grandma's favorite.
My favorite. Yeah, my grandma's favorite. And I'll be like, okay, Grandma, you're right. I am going to be okay. But I feel like that's God telling me, hey, you're okay. Like, you're going to be okay. Like, there was this one time I remember I was like, I'm tired of being tired, God. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. And it was raining really hard. And out of nowhere, like, the rain became subtle. And I screamed and I was like, I'm tired. Like, please, I'm exhausted. I surrender to you. Okay. I get it. Like, I'm yours. Just please take this pain away. Take this pain away. Next thing you know, my worship music started playing, goosebumps. I was okay. Yeah, I was okay after that. I stopped crying. My tears of hurt turned into tears of joy because I was like, wow, God, like, thank you. Like, you're showing up for me. I have never had someone show up for me in my life, and you never left me, even when I was at my lowest. So even when I shied away and pretended like I didn't know you, you were there and you continuously stood there. And that's why I have so much love for God. Like, beautiful. I love him so much. And like, I get so excited just to talk about him because like he has moved so much in my life. Like, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him, like, at all. Like, I have so much I'm so blessed. That's all I can say is I'm very blessed and grateful for what he has done in my life and moving him not only in my life, but like in my son's life and my relationship.
Worship,
Yes.
music, you prayed, you believed,
Yes.
and you received.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Could you grace us with one of your readings?
Yes, yes.
Just very powerful. Some of her writings are so heart-wrenching. It's not for everyone to listen to. So if you have children that are young, you might want to have them leave the room. I don't know which one this
This
but,
one, yeah.
but go ahead, Jayleen.
My writings are very, very
Okay,
out there.
and
just,
you
know.
bleep out some of those
I will
words.
bleep it out. I will. I will.
And-
Okay, so this one's called Goodbye. A letter saying goodbye. A goodbye to the people who pretended to love me. A goodbye to the dark hole I couldn't crawl out of. A letter read by many, the "oh, I'm sorry, I wish I could have done more." A letter to say I finally did it. I was brave enough this last time. I counted every line on my wrist, those lines that represented my pain. Those very lines that I tallied up my arm, I was brave. Brave enough to stay, brave enough to fight on my dark days, and let me tell you, it was almost every damn day. People talk about the news, the trends, the ones who succeed, but what about us, the brave ones? The ones who fight off the thoughts of cutting deeper, looking up, asking if this will hold the rope tied around my neck. The ones who are at the edge ready to jump, the ones who over-medicate to overdose. It's all BS, the fake love that doesn't fill a void, the mask that is worn hours out of the day, the "it's okay, I'm fine." The siblings and friends who throw their problems on me as I sit there blank, but what about me? We are called weak, but try to understand we are an empty shell. Try to understand the pain that won't go away. Try to understand the nightmares that are also real. Try to understand the traumas that eats us up inside. It doesn't kill us, but that one razor is staring at me. The glide that runs across my wrist, the blood pouring out as my tears come rushing out. Another disappointment when I wake up. Wake up to the same damn problems. Did I even rest? The dreams that are never ending. I can't escape this pain. The PTSD that most don't endure. Walking into the dark shadows, I've been here before, except there's screams and meds poured down our throats. The only bright thing was the lights that never turned off. Privacy taken away when the one person in scrubs watches your every move. The loose clothing, walking back and forth, trapped like a caged animal, whispers about each patient, unseasoned food thrown to our faces. Outpatient is the second place to go, sad souls, there's no hope. The therapist that is so eagerly to fix me, but she gets paid to watch me suffer. I am just another client who is crazy, another client who is an entertainment, another client who has no say. Every Friday, there were tests. Oh, she's not getting better. I must not be the best. Keep her here longer. It will do her justice, but all it did was cause me pain. A competition on who can make the pain go away. I was just another paycheck trapped in your selfish ways. Pills after pills, is that the only way? The guilt of being this way, negative people may say. But I would love for you to be in my shoes. I bet you wouldn't be able to take one damn step. Suffocation, I feel like I'm drowning. A pillowcase over my face. Breathe in and breathe out, they say. But no, I can't, because every breath hurts. Every breath I feel so much pain. Every damn breath that reminds me when will this finally end? So suicide isn't a way out. It's that I am finally brave. Attempts that failed, scared and afraid, I finally did it.
Oh, that was excellent.
Thank you.
That touches me. Thank you so much. Isn't that tremendous, folks? Please, if you are feeling suicidal, seek help. Call 988 and you can receive counseling immediately. Jayleen, what do you think is the best effective way that a person can use the medical community? You said turning to God is first and foremost, and then how should the Lord lead us into seeking out the resources that we have?
For sure, therapy. I've been working through therapy. Taking it seriously about 2 years. I went to outpatient. It hurts. It hurts a lot, but a part of you heals that you've been wanting to heal, but you can't do it on your own. So you're not alone, and know that you need a team. As much as you want to walk away and be like, I can do this on my own, you can't. And it's okay that you can't, because no one can. So have your supportive teams, and it doesn't have to be family. It could be friends. I met one of my best friends in outpatient and can't live without him. He's my rock, and God blessed me with him. So for sure, just having a support system to be able to cry out and be like, I need help. And, be able to make that first step of being like, okay, I'm going to see a therapist. I'm going to seek medication. I'm going to seek any help I can receive. So for sure, I will say therapy. Therapy has saved my life. Thank you, Pete.
How has the church been there for you? Has the church been as beneficial as you would like it to be?
I feel we are the church. We, the people, are the church. So I wouldn't, right now I am looking for a new church. I wouldn't say I've got the best support system out of an old church, but that's okay. It's just God telling me that was just a pit stop, that I'm closer to finding my home.
Certainly. Belongingness in a group of believers is so encouraged, but it has to be the right group of believers. There's many brands of Christianity, very, very many brands of Christianity. And so you need to find where there's love. I believe that grace is the answer to be able to help a suicidal person feel accepted just the way they are, and to be open to those therapeutic medical interventions. So folks, I appreciate you tuning in today, and I want to thank my special guest, Jayleen. Thank you so much. I want to hear a lot more from your writings, and we look forward to following up in later podcasts. But thank you so much for joining us today on Mending Hearts and Broken Fences. I think you'll admit this was pretty powerful. Very real, and we look forward to having some more guests on. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our podcasts, please do contact us at PeteCarlsonCounseling.com, PeteCarlsonCounseling@yahoo.com. Thank you so much. Have a very nice day. God bless you. And remember, go to God for mending hearts and broken fences.